Happy Tuesday, everyone, from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Stellar Parenting. I'm your host, Brandi. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents, helping teachers, helping guardians learn how to combine the magic of the stars with the art of consciously raising children. So if you want to know more about yourself, a deeper awareness of who you are and what your purpose is, or if you want to know more about your child and how you can tweak your parenting approach to be more effective, please visit my website at brandicon.com and book a natal chart session. And if you'd just like to have a parent coaching session, I also do those as well. And I combine astrology into the coaching. So I'd love to see you for that as well. Okay. So for today's show, a lot of fun things. Okay. We are going to be talking about our transits for this week, this upcoming week. And within there, I have some information for those of you who may be the parent of a child who has their sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Pisces. Really important information. And then at the end, we will have time for a caller. So if you'd like to have an astrology reading or a tarot reading, please call in. I'd love to hear from you. So let's get started. Let's jump in, okay? And before we dive into this week's transits, I just want to speak to you all about the pivotal time that we are living in right now. Now, as I have mentioned many times on this show before, Pluto moved into the sign of Aquarius on November 19th of 2024, and that was huge. And it's huge because the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was from 1777 through 1797. And during that time period, we had the French Revolution, we had the American Revolution, and the Haitian Revolution. So social hierarchies, as they were known at that time, were turned upside down. And the power was given to the people. So here again, currently in 2025, this is where we are, and we find ourselves in this dynamic where the power is shifting away from those at the top, and it's going toward the people at the bottom. But please hear me as I make this point. The people at the bottom cannot take full advantage of their power if they are divided in any way whatsoever. So I'm going to give you an example, and we're going to go back to 1876. There was a battle between General George Custer and a group of Native Americans, and that group was composed of the Lakota Sioux, the Cheyenne, and the Arapaho, okay? So General Custer lost that battle, and I'm sure you've heard of Custer's last stand, because what he did, he didn't strategize the right way. He divided his forces into 3 separate detachments, which really weakened the strength of his army. So in the same way, we as people today will not be able to utilize this power that we have effectively if we are divided into separate groups. And those can be separate groups based on the color of our skin, our political affiliations, our socioeconomic status, or the way that we choose to worship. So in the end, these divisions are not as important as the fact that we all come from one source. We come from the same place. And therefore, each and every one of us, we are all connected to each other. So to, my listeners in the UK or in Canada, Mexico, or Australia, each and every one of you, is connected to me. I'm connected to all of you. We are all one. And there is much more that unites us rather than what divides us. And we really need to remember that. So I also have a channeled message from my guides, and I'd like to share that with you right now. It only seems as if the darkness of night is upon you, yet the sun shines eternally. Do not allow fearful narratives that are being perpetuated in your world to overtake your thinking or cloud your vision for a better day. Hold the frequency of hope, knowing that all is being orchestrated according to a divine plan. Your job in this plan is to believe that love will guide the way. And I leave that message with each of you, and I ask you to remember it over the next few weeks. March, I'm just going to give you a heads up, ladies and gentlemen, March is slated to be a difficult month astrologically. If it's not the most difficult of the year, which I think it probably is, and April is a close second. So we've got a lot that's coming up during the month of March. And right now, I'm just trying to prepare you all to really hold your frequency, hold the vision of what you want to see in the world, and hold your intention of being the highest version of yourself during that time. Now, when we hop into our transits for this week, today, Tuesday, February 18th, the sun moved into the gentle water sign of Pisces. And this move of the sun into the energy of Pisces is going to bring a huge energy shift, okay? So let me take a quick minute and just talk about Pisces as a sign. So Pisces is a water sign, so the emotions and intuition is very emphasized. Pisces is also a mutable sign, so flexibility is important. Now, when we're talking about the spectrum of expression with Pisces, there's the highest potential of expression, and then there's the lowest potential of expression. And we always want to veer towards the highest end of expression. So the highest end of expression of Piscean energy is very compassionate, loving, healing, creative, spiritually connected, and spiritually aware. Now, at the lowest end of Piscean expression, we might be a little delusional. We could distort the truth or refuse to see reality for what it is. We might suffer from a lack of clarity, or there could be excessive daydreaming, or even trying to escape reality by numbing ourselves. So that's at the lowest end. So as the sun moves into the sign of Pisces, you may feel more energetically sensitive. It may be easier for you to tap into your feelings and your emotions. And it might even be easier for you to understand the feelings and the emotions of others, of those around you. It also might be easier for you to connect with your higher self or higher aspects of yourself when you are creating. And when I'm saying creating, I'm talking about making music, art, poetry, anything creative. That's really, really the flavor of Pisces. And you might also, during this time, be drawn to learning a healing modality such as Reiki, so that you can offer it not only to yourself, but you can give back to others, okay? Now, if you are the parent of a child who has their sun, moon, or rising in Pisces, I'd really like for you to understand and realize that your child is a very sensitive and very intuitive little being, okay? And because of this level of sensitivity, they are extremely susceptible to the energy that's in their external environment. And so it's very helpful to give children with strong Pisces placements to give them guidance and direction that really steers them toward developing their spiritual nature. Okay, this is very important. And it's important because without a strong spiritual connection, Pisces really tends to look for unbalanced ways of escaping reality. So if there's not that connection with the higher self or something larger than me that really gives me the feeling of being at one with the divine, then I will search for other ways to get that feeling. Okay. And for young children, that could translate into too much screen time, too much time watching TV, too much time playing video games or on the iPad or on the iPhone. Okay. That's an excessive use of, or I should say, more of an unbalanced expression of the energy of Pisces, just trying to escape in some way. And for adults who may have strong Pisces placements, um, this escapism can show up in ways such as over drinking, overeating, overspending, or over medicating. All right. So for those of you with Pisces placements, keep that in mind and remember that. And you want to go toward the higher end of expression. Also, the sign of Pisces rules the feet. So we want to make sure that we're taking good care of this area of our bodies. If we've got Pisces placements, and if you are the parent of a Pisces child, you really want to make sure that your child has well-fitting shoes that support them. And make sure you're doing regular checkups for cuts, blisters, bruises, or anything else that might be of concern when it comes to the feet. All right, February 20th on Thursday, we will have Mercury at 11 degrees of Pisces, squaring Jupiter at 11 degrees of Gemini. So right now, I'm just going to paint a picture for you, and that way it will help you to really tap into the energy of this transit. So I want you to imagine we've got Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication. And Mercury is in the water sign of Pisces, that very sensitive and spiritual and compassionate sign of Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces is very relaxed. He's dreamy, and he's not very concerned with facts and figures. And on some level, if he is unbalanced in his expression, he might feel as if he lacks clarity and direction. And on the other hand, we've got Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion in the air sign of Gemini. So Jupiter is very concerned with learning lots of facts and figures and communicating. So you can feel that these two are at odds with each other energetically. And so Mercury in Pisces really wants to dive deep into an elusive place. Yet Jupiter in Gemini is happy to stay on the surface. But what I want you to do, I want you to honor the energy and the need of Mercury to go deep. And I want you to set the intention to use Jupiter's energy to facilitate that deep dive into your dreams and into understanding your emotions and into understanding the emotions of others. You can also use Jupiter's energy when it comes to creative expression. So if you're creating anything or you've got a talent for music, art, painting, dance, writing, use the energy of Jupiter in this way to really go deep with your expression. Now, keep in mind that Mercury in Pisces, if he's feeling a little unbalanced, he can feel uncertain or unsure about which direction he needs to go. And it can also be difficult for him to find the right words to communicate. And his connection to Jupiter, which makes everything bigger, makes it grow and expand, can make these feelings even stronger. So I want you to set the intention to use Jupiter's energy to expand your spiritual awareness and to expand your creativity. Don't allow yourself to use Jupiter's energy to expand delusional thinking, okay? Or any untruths about who you are, because you know who you are. or to expand in any way any feelings that you just really need to escape reality in some way. Okay, very important to remember this. I'd say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in particular of this week. Also, this week, because of Mercury squaring Jupiter, I want you to be very careful about signing contracts. So if you have paperwork or legal documents to sign, I want you to read the fine print and make sure that you completely understand everything that you are agreeing to during this time. On Sunday, February 23rd, Mercury, again in Pisces, at 17 degrees of Pisces, will be trining Mars at 17 degrees of Cancer. So again, we've got Mercury in Pisces, the planet of communication in the dreamy waters of Pisces. But he's being supported this time by Mars, the planet of energy and action, and the very nurturing water sign of Cancer. So during this transit, I want you to remember Mars is going to be behaving a little bit differently than normal because he's just going to be coming out of retrograde and stationing direct. Okay, so his motor is not fully humming yet. All right. But this transit might feel as if there is a sizzle underneath. All right. You may actually have thoughts like, well, oh, I've got this wonderful idea, and I know that I can actually do something to bring this idea to fruition. Or I've always had this dream, and now I feel as if I've got the wisdom to manifest this into reality. So pay attention to any ideas or insights that you receive when Mercury is trining Mars, because you may be receiving downloads or information about how to implement your dreams and your plans once Mars has fully moved forward. And also, last but not least, and this is very important, this is probably the biggest thing this week. Sunday, February 23rd, Mars, the planet of energy and action, comes out of retrograde and stations direct at 17 degrees of Cancer. Okay? And what I really want everyone to do, I want you to pull up your natal chart. And if you've got children as well, pull up their natal charts too. It's important that you know where this is happening in your natal chart. Where is the Cancer area? Is it the first house? Is it the fourth? Is it the 10th? Wherever you have Cancer in your chart, this is where you are going to most feel Mars coming out of retrograde, maybe with a jolt of energy or forward movement. Okay? And not only pay attention to where you have Mars in your natal chart, but I also want you to see, do you have any natal planets stationed anywhere from 15 degrees of Cancer all the way to 29 degrees of Cancer? Is there anything there within that window? If so, this Mars is really going to be affecting or activating the themes of that natal planet. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and then you know exactly how to use the energy in your favor. So make sure that you look at your chart and figure out, where is this happening for me? Where is Cancer in my natal chart? Which house, which area is this in? So Mars has been retrograde since December 6th, 2024. And he's getting ready to move forward once again. And I'm not sure for you guys, but I have really felt this retrograde because Mars directly impacted one of my natal planets right there within the window that I gave you in Cancer, from 17 to 29 degrees of Cancer. Okay. And for so long, for the last couple months, it really felt as if someone just turned the motor off and things came to a standstill. I also noticed that it has taken me a lot longer to complete tasks, which normally took no time at all. And another interesting thing is I've had to redo a lot of things. So I'll do something and then I'll realize, oh, I made a mistake. There's an error there. I need to go back and redo. So to say that I'm ready is an understatement. So Mars coming out of retrograde is not ready to blast off right away. Okay, so I want you to think about a car that's been sitting outside overnight in freezing temperatures. And you go and get in the car, you crank the car and you turn on the heat. There's not hot air that blows right away. You've got to allow the motor to warm up. You've got to allow it, the car to really warm up before you get the warm air. And Mars is very similar. Okay. So when Mars comes out of retrograde, he's saying, give me a second, give me just a minute. I've got to get warmed up. So Mars coming out of retrograde has the insight that he needs to move forward towards successful implementation. And over the next few weeks, you will be feeling his energy stronger and stronger, especially for those of you with natal planets there within the mid degrees to the final degrees of the sign of Cancer. You might really get an energy boost in a huge way. So make sure you take note of that and look that up in your chart. So those are the transits for this week. And now we have our caller. We have Mia from Nebraska. Hi, Mia.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Would you like tarot or astrology?
Terror?
You'd like tarot?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go for it. I'll do a spread for you. And would you just like a general spread, or is there anything in particular that you want to focus on?
Yes. If there's anybody who wants to talk to me from up above and my relationship.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part, Mia. Could you repeat that again?
From a loved one up above and my relationship.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. For Mia. That down. You and your guides, okay? And I'd like for you to please tell me when to stop shuffling. Just say stop whenever you feel ready.
Okay, you could stop.
Okay. Let's see what we've got, Mia. Okay. So let's take a look, Mia. I know that as I'm looking at your spread, it does look like the last few months, there's been a lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of hard work, but bumps and bruises, and feeling like I'm working to get ahead, but sometimes I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it looks to me as over the last few weeks as if there's been a lot of bumps and bruises, but hard work. But a lot of times it feels as if you're spinning your wheels and you're not making forward momentum. That makes sense?
Yes. Trying to get a job, yes.
Okay, all right. But I know that the Justice card comes up pretty predominantly for you. So there's something here about either legal proceedings or feeling like you have not been fairly treated. Does that make any sense at all?
A little, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, because I'm seeing here the Justice card. So, and with that, as I'm saying that, I'm getting the feeling of almost like karma or a karmic situation. So, something involving someone else that may have been a little off, but it almost feels now as if it's taking a slight turn, or if the situation is turning in some way in your favor. Now, I do have the card, the Eight of Cups, which shows trying to figure out whether you want to walk away from a situation that's not serving you anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And your personal power card that I do have the Seven of Wands, which usually that card will come up when we feel like we've got to defend ourselves and we have to stand our ground. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And right now, Mia, like with your relationship, because I feel this spread really is about your relationship. Um, I
Yes.
have the five cups, and there's this feeling of I'm really focused on what I'm losing, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm not really able to see or focus on the things that I still have in my favor. So even though there are difficulties in your relationship, there are other aspects of your life that are working in your favor. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I do feel here, well, I've got the Four of Wands, and I don't know why in particular. Um, this just feels to me, would you understand the female, the mother figure that would be in the spirit world?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like with this card here, I never would have interpreted it that way. But I'm looking at this and it almost feels like mom, mom from up above, mom from the spirit world coming through really to try to give me a pat on the back or some encouragement and to say, keep going, you can do this, don't give up. Because mom makes me
Yeah.
feel as if
My mom is here. Sorry.
okay. Okay, well, would you understand the female in spirit that would be like a mother figure, though, that would be trying to encourage you from spirit side?
No.
Okay. All right. So then let me interpret it this way. Then if you don't understand this for mom, I do feel as if I want to talk about a spirit in the or a person, a lady in the spirit world could be grandmother or aunt, but that comes through really wanting to give you a pat on the back and a push forward and to say keep moving ahead because I do feel as if there have been thoughts about like giving up. I just completely want to give up and I don't want to move forward because I don't know how to move forward. You understand that?
My uncle is on the other side,
Okay.
or my grandma is in El Paso, but she is here in the real world.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mia. Thank you for clarifying that. I only have 1 minute left, but I just want to say things are going to happen quickly for you over the next 3 weeks. And I do want you to be aware of situations where people are not being honest with you, where someone is telling you something that is not true and you have a feeling that something is off. I want you to listen to your intuition, okay?
Yes.
If you feel like something's off, it looks like there could be something off, your intuition speaking to you. Okay, Mia?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, hon. I'm so sorry, but we are out of time. But thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay. And we are at the end of the show. Thanks, everyone, for joining. The stars may guide us, but we hold the power to shape our destiny. So keep shining bright, allow your inner light to lead the way, and I'll see you next week.